Pishiobury Park is visited every day by many people. Some come to walk their dog, some come for a run, some just come for a walk. But how many are too preoccupied with their phones, with their pet, or have other things on their mind to properly appreciate nature in the park? I'm going to suggest that you take a pause and have a closer look at some aspects of the park. Let's make a start by looking at this old oak tree, just inside the Newton Drive entrance to the park on the left-hand side. One of the first things to consider is, why is it the shape it is? Why are there two main stems? What happened to it to stop it growing nice and straight up? Look at these root buttresses. Is it not surprising that such a weight of wood needs extra support? Now notice the moss growing on these root buttresses. Now what about the trunk? Look higher up and you will see that the tree has been struck by lightning at some time in the past, almost certainly a long time ago, and miraculously it's healed itself. Look carefully at the bottom of the trunk and you will see the healed scar. The lightning seems to have killed the top of the tree, and now there are back roost holes in the dead wood. I wonder when the gale took place that split a limb off at this point. Tree surgeons have removed dead wood for safety reasons over the last number of years. The tree shows its remarkable healing powers, and this cut surface shows the ray pattern characteristic of English oak. And now for the bark. It is the protective outer layer of the tree, and cracks form as the circumference expands each year. Here we can see the layers of dead bark, and the live layers will be underneath. Although we cannot see inside the tree, the centre of this old oak tree is almost certain to be rotten, and there will be lots of invertebrates and beetles and spiders living in the red rot heartwood. Look at these lichens growing on the bark, doing no harm at all to the tree. Even though this tree is about 220 years old, it still produces a mass of green leaves every year. Make a leaf rubbing to tell you more about the leaf structure and pattern. Last year there were no acorns. This year the tree is covered in tiny acorns. Had you noticed that? Around the base of the tree we can see the feeding remains, in this case almost certainly grey squirrels that have been eating acorns, but a lot of other small mammals and birds will gather in the autumn to feed on the crop of acorns. Over the years, cattle have established a browse line, which is as far as they can reach to eat the fresh green leaves. And finally, I suggest you use your senses and imagination. What smells can your nose detect? What can your feet tell you about the ground near and around the tree? Who lived here in about 1800 when the tree was planted? How did they travel along Oak Walk? What would life have been like working in the park and on the Pishiobury estate? So next time you come to the park, pay a visit to this old tree for yourself. Think about things differently. Use your eyes and senses, and maybe you'll be surprised and even more enthusiastic about our local nature reserve.